you have to just breeze past the fact that you just talked about putting olive oil into your fucking car instead of gasoline. I don't think you understand how cars work, Joe. But
Dude, man, they can run off cornstarch. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm bringing us in. Here we go.
Baby oil in the Honda? Phew, you're flying.
What is baby oil? Oh wait, no, yeah, I know baby oil. I was thinking about crushing baby. Anyway,
You,
I was like, are you like you crush the seeds to get the fucking
I don't
grit,
know. I'm
whatever.
thinking more like you take the baby and you like wring it out
Uh huh.
like a towel.
Right.
You get the
It's like the
juices that
twisted end
come
of a
out.
bop it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I'm bringing us in. Here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, a Joe.
Well, Joe, I didn't think we'd get here that fast, but we're here. And I'm gonna ask you to take the lead on this because I really need your reaction on some of this
Okay.
stuff.
All right. So, Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, episode 5. Uh, again, moving fast. A lot of shit is happening. We are introduced to approximately 47.32 new Quincy's, new Sternritters. And don't ask me who they were. I don't fucking know. Most of them die by Kampachi. So that's lovely. Always good to see him fucking up some bitches. So that's nice. What else? What else happened here? Oh, Yamamoto gets a bit of a moment, just a little bit, just a very small, very insignificant moment. And we also see the backstory of his lieutenant, whose name I will not remember. Joe, do you have it?
Sasakibe.
Kasu Kasakibe?
Sasakibe.
Sasakibe. There we go. Okay. Um, so that was cool. I didn't expect to see young man Yamamoto in this. Like that was weird, dude. Like when they first showed him, I was just like, wait a minute, is this is this bearded man? What the fuck is going on here? He didn't have a beard. He just had the mustache. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's so we're gonna it's not a spoiler, but we'll get more of that because obviously it hints at the history of him and now maybe you heard the name. It's pronounced Wait, Joe, how do you pronounce the name? Did you hear it?
Which who are you talking
Main
about?
guy. Main big baddie for
Oh,
the Quincy's.
I'm assuming it's just like your watch or something like that. I don't know.
It's like Yuha Ba is how it's pronounced.
What? Wait, what?
It's Yuha. Yuha is how you pronounce it.
Oh, and then is Ba like another?
I believe that's his the last name or
Okay,
something.
because I was like,
Everybody
there's
calls
no
him
B
Yuha.
in that name. What the fuck? Okay, Yuha.
Yeah. So you get a little bit
He's
of
like one
more.
pronunciation away from
Yeah,
fucking U-Haul. What the hell?
I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, and then we'll get since they have a history, Yamamoto and him.
Right.
We get a little bit more of kind of that flashback typey stuff relatively soon, maybe. You never know.
Right.
Um, but that's kind of like it's cool, like because Yamamoto up until now has just been like this. He didn't need a backstory. You were just like, oh, you don't fuck with him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm interested to see how it's gonna unfold because I like not having like the full he's just the guy who you look at and you're like, yeah, you have thousands of years worth of experience and stories behind every wrinkle on that wrinkly fucking forehead of yours. So I don't need to know all of it, but I'm intrigued. So I'm very much like, okay, let's see where this goes. But yeah, Ichigo is still trapped in the fucking Pokeball. So I don't know, big upsetty spaghetti there. But Sternritter J, OP, or whatever the hell his name is, um, gets cut in half by an unseen figure. And at first, because the slash that like cut him down was red, and I was just like, hang on. I was like, did the fuck is fucking shot man who's there with him? He's typing on the
Or
yeah Urahara. God, Joe, there's so many names that I need to keep
I know,
track of.
I know.
It's
It's all right. It's all right. It
so
happens.
many. Urahara. Like he uses his Blood Red Princess as his Shikai and then his Bankai we haven't seen yet, but I'd imagine it would also be red. So at first I was like, is that him? Did he decide to actually fight? But then the blade just goes next to his head. And you're just like, oh, okay, so who's this? And clearly he seems to recognize the person. So I'm like, all right. And we have Chad and Orihime and Nell all just sitting there as well. But don't know what's going on with them. Ichigo, just again, stuck in the Pokeball. He's doing his best. We see at the end of his scenes, he's like starts to green flames are like kind of coming off of him. So I'm curious what that is entailing. Don't really know about that. Um, oh, Big Monkey Boy. I forgot about Big Monkey Boy. It's so sad. Big Monkey Boy doing Big Monkey problems. He fucking them up.
Yeah. Yeah, he I mean, it looks like somebody might have been controlling him.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that was oh man, yeah, I forgot that was even in the manga. It's not like a big thing, but it's cool to kind of see him again. Because it's been like you don't really see him since like the Soul Society arc. I
Yeah,
don't think he
I
really
haven't.
pops up
He
after that.
doesn't.
Yeah. It was
So
cool to see him again. Not in that context though, obviously.
right, yeah, different context. He's getting a little bit of a mind whammy, but yeah, and I loved seeing the fuck do you call it? The perspectives of all the other characters when they're all just like how what I said last episode. They're like, "Oh my God, Ichigo's on his way. We're all saved." And then the
Yeah, isn't that
immediate
great?
flip of them being like, Ichigo's spiritual pressure is gone in the Garganta. I think is what they call it
Yeah,
like two things,
Garganta.
the Garganta and the something else. But like, there's too many. I'm just gonna call it the Flubby Wubby space. That's what I'm gonna call it from now
Tunnel.
on. The what?
The tunnel.
The tunnel, the tunnel of not love, the traveling tunnel. How about that? That's get some good alliteration. We got the traveling tunnel. Um, but yeah, and then everyone's just like, oh, he's so we don't know where he is. And then immediately everyone is just like, oh, all hope is lost. We're all gonna fucking die. Oh yeah, that's what else happened in this. The beginning of this episode, which I found incredibly boring because it's ambiguous Sternritter, who I guess is a guy now that we know confirmed because the voice is very definitely a guy. Unless they identify as something else, in which case, good for them. I don't really fucking care. Anyway, I found the beginning of this episode incredibly boring, so much that I fucking forgot about it. It's fuck the names, Joe. My brain is just going absolutely nowhere. Renji and Byakuya are there facing off against Stern Ritter, whatever the fuck. Um, and it's a lot. It's a lot of talking. I mean, it's a lot of just sitting there talking about platitudes and fear, and there's a cool scene of a bunch of flies crawling up Byakuya. Like that was pretty cool. But other than that, it was pretty boring, and I was just like, can we
Mm.
get on to something else? And then another Stern comes in and knocks Renji across the fucking world. He just goes flying around, and I was like, oof, big, big oof. But yeah, beginning of this episode, but then the latter half, when we're dealing with all the other shit, like the Yamamoto stuff, which we'll talk about more in depth in a second, because fucking Christ. And then we get the back story with Sasakibe and Kenpachi and all that sort of crap. Oh, that stuff was cool. But the beginning of this episode, at the pace we've been going, that shit dragged hard.
So I really like the beginning of the episode. I really like it's as not. Um,
Right.
remember? So, yes, yes, yes. And I love the voice. The voice was perfect for the character. Um, and yeah, so his power is fear, basically. Um, and that's kind of what those spears do when they pierce you. They pierce you with fear. Um,
Is that what they do? Because
and
I thought it was ambiguous that it was just Byakuya was just scared because he was facing such a
no,
daunting opponent.
his power is fear.
Oh, that's
I
kind of
actually
lame.
think his letter is F,
F, yeah.
fear. Yeah. So, and obviously, like I told you, the letters get explained a little bit later on.
Yeah, like Opie
And you
is the
find out.
jail.
So you get a little bit of that, and yeah, I liked it. Just because I feel like when I read it, in the manga, it felt like, wow, this person's horrifying, and I feel like I don't know, I liked the transition to the screen. I enjoyed it. I was like, okay, I felt like they were getting the character really right. which I was happy with. I get what you're saying with regards to pacing, where it's kind of like you're moving so fast and out of nowhere you're crawling, and you're like, "What?" You're like, "What the hell is this?" Um, I personally enjoyed it, and again, everybody just has different opinions on it. But yeah, so that was interesting. And then yeah, Renji gets fucking destroyed. My girl Rukia gets fucked up.
Oh
You don't
yeah,
even see
Rukia
her
gets got.
fucking put up a fight.
Yeah, like
Um,
everyone is like supposedly I don't believe for a second, but like Byakuya like dies to this to fear dude Asnod because he used his Bankai against him. I get Renchi gets kicked into the next town over. Rukia gets stabbed from behind because she turned her back on some bitch and the bitch was just like, "Hey, don't you do that to me." Stabby stab. And I get we don't know what the fuck's the word that I'm trying to look for here, Joe. What her status is, I'll say that right now. Like I don't know how damaged she is, but it's not looking good in this whole society. Everyone is getting absolutely rocked, and Ichigo is just like, God, I need to get there and be OP.
yeah, it's like I said, more and more you're getting the vibe of where this story's going and how really intense this arc is.
Yeah,
Um, the scene where Ichigo's on the phone and he has to hear everybody
it's so weird.
screaming.
It's still so
Oh
weird.
my, yeah. It was like, but him kind of getting angry and being like, "I'm not gonna let any one of you die." I was like, "Oh, there's my fucking man right there."
Yeah, but he's still trapped in that goddamn Pokeball, answering phone calls on his flip phone in a little Pokeball. It's so
It's the
weird.
soul phone,
It's
dude.
the soul
It's the
phone.
soul phone.
I mean, yeah, I guess the soul phone would be a little bit behind. It's not modern technology, but
Yeah.
yeah. So other than that, though, Kenpachi, real quick, before we get onto Yamamoto, Kenpachi,
Yo,
awesome.
did that make your day?
that made me so happy. Like I've
Okay.
never been a massive fan of Kenpachi. I like him as the side character just because he's a cool side character. There's not ever really a focus on him. I don't think he'd be that interesting unless you like massively change or add a bunch of stuff to him. But him just rocking up with the three Sternritters to uh, hang on, I'm gonna remember how to pronounce it. Yao is it? Wait, no, yeah. Fuck. Why is it so difficult?
Yuha.
Yuha. Right, it's like U-Haul. Gotta remember that.
Hmm.
He just rocks up to Yuha and it's just like, hey, I fought these three guys, and you just montage the three of them. And after like the beginning with
That's it.
Byakuya and Asnod, I was like, oh, thank Christ, we're starting to actually burn through a couple of these guys. Um,
Yeah.
so I was like, good, good, good. And then he just like, yeah, you're the leader clearly, and he's like, uh-huh. And then he's like, all right, I'm gonna fight you, and he just brings the sword down, and the Yuha brings it. It's so weird saying it like that. U-Haul. I'm just gonna fucking call him U-Haul, Joe. My brain can't rectify the two in my head. He brings the sword down on U-Haul's arm, and then there's a big explosion, and then we cut over to one of the other lieutenants, and he's fighting Sterner O because he's overkill, and he's just like, I get more powerful with every fucking character that I kill, and I'm like, oh my god, you fucking emo hot topic middle schooler, shut the fuck up. Also, he speaks the same way as who's the kid in the Fullbringer who's he's got the lucky punch. So it's
Oh.
Tsukishima, not
Oh.
Tsukishima. The Tsukishima's the bookmark guy. Uh, I
I don't
can't
know the
remember.
name.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Him. They
I
both
won't
talk the
know it.
same way because they're both like
Mm,
punky, strong punching characters. Because this guy also had like a fist thing, like a brass knuckly type thing in his hand. But he's the one who stole uh Frenchman. I don't know why I call him Frenchman. He looks like he's French in the when he's older.
he does. And his saber, it's a saber, like a French
Yes,
saber. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
pretty
what
much.
it is.
But he steals his Bankai, and Yamamoto is just like, ah, it's you. So I'm gonna fuck you up now. And he just whips out his sword and immediately incinerates him. And at this point, I was just like, thank Christ. Because like as we kept getting introduced to Stern Ritters, I was just like, yep, there's 26 letters, aren't there? Are we gonna have 26 characters? Like there's a lot of characters already. And the fact that he was just like, whoop, and got rid of him, I was like, thank God. Um, And again, the backstory that we see with him it's cute. I don't have much to say on it, but
Mm.
God, the animation of those fire, like the flames and shit, I was like, oh my God, this is immaculate. And then he's like, all right, I'm on my mission from God. And he rockets off. And I'm just like, this is, holy shit, Yamamoto looks so fucking cool. And also, I'd forgotten that he had lost an arm during the Aizen arc. And so
Yep.
when he was like, I will, like, take them all on with my hand. And I was just like, shouldn't it be hands? And I was like, wait a minute, no, he means hand because he only has one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, that's
Continuity,
cool.
baby.
That's so good. Yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, that's. Do you have anything else you want me to discuss with you? Because like that's the most of it that I feel like I know that I feel like I want to discuss right now. We got Yamamoto. We got boring start. We got Renji getting body. We got Ichiko with the Pokeball. All that fun random crap.
I think they did Sasuke justice, which I was happy with. Like just enough background where you're like, okay, good. You gave him some character, but it's more Sasuke and the death is more for the sake of Yamamoto. Like
Yeah.
his character exists just for the fact to develop Yamamoto's character, which again, yeah, continuity. When you see the guy's body just fucking incinerate. Oh my God. That was great visuals. Also, when the visuals of when Byakuya is having that fear moment and he sees like Rukia kind of like melt. I thought that was pretty cool too. Just
Yeah,
good
very
visuals.
Last Crusade esque.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's cool.
exactly.
But yeah,
But only other thing I would also say that moving forward, obviously, we see Yamamoto confront Yuha. That's kind of how this episode ends. And if we're going where we're like, again, I didn't think we'd get here because they actually cut some stuff from the manga,
okay.
which has happened already in the first other episodes, and Kubo is overseeing this, so he's the one being like, okay, yeah, we don't need to add this, don't need to add this because you can't do it all. Like I understand that. But I think a couple people were based off reactions I've seen online were a little upset for them cutting stuff, but for you, from your perspective, you're like, I don't know what I'm missing out on.
No, I
But
have absolutely
as
no
someone who
idea.
exactly, as someone a little while ago who read it, I'm like, oh, it's fine. I'm like, I don't know. I think they're doing a great job with this show, and it just gets me so hyped. Like literally, when I saw Kenpachi, I was like, yo! I was like watching this. I was so hyped to see him. And even when Yamamoto gets mad, and he just fucking flies off in the ball of fire, saying like, "I will protect every single one of you and destroy them by myself." And everybody's just like, "Oh, the captain's a little angry." I was like, "This is fucking great."
Yep. Yeah. So it's still I think Bleach this season is probably my favorite looking show. Whether it's the best or not, I don't know, but God, I fucking love the art style of this show compared to Chainsaw Man, compared to My Hero, compared to Spy Family. I haven't looked at Mob Psycho season 3 yet, so I will hold off on comparing it to that. But this show looks incredible. The pacing, it started to get a little all over the place for me because it's going fast and it's going slow and it's going fast again, and I'm just like, okay, let's see. But it's still great. It's just great to have Bleach back in any form, and the fact that they're doing it this well still, fucking solid. So, with all that being said, I think that's where we're going to leave it off for Bleach Episode 5. Hopefully Episode 6 continues to only make it better. We're probably going to love it either way, because again, hashtag Bleach Sluts. But anyway, everyone, always remember we'll love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.